I've been married to Reed Wang for 3 years. His mistress got cancer and was quickly divorced. My husband wants to sell our house to save her. I don't agree. Later, she died, and my husband pushed me, 3 months pregnant, down the stairs, 2 lives lost. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the time before my husband's mistress fell ill. Jade, take your time. Don't cry. Reed Wang was driving me home from work when he received a call from his mistress, Jade Liang. He gently coaxed the person on the other end of the line, using a tone he had never shown me. In his haste, he slammed on the brakes, nearly causing my head to hit the windshield on the passenger side. Before I could even gather my thoughts, I heard him soothingly say to the person on the phone, "Don't worry, wait there. I'll come find you right away." Reed Wang's handsome face was frosty, not even glancing at me as he pulled the car into the emergency stopping area on the overpass and ordered, "Get out of the car quickly. I have other matters to attend to." Angry and wanting to confront him, memories from my past life flooded in. The face before me overlapped with the ferocious one from my past life. Without another word, I staggered to open the car door and stepped out directly. The scorching July heat in Haisha was unbearable. As soon as I got out of the car, a wave of hot air hit me. Wearing small heels, my heels blistered, and the blisters burst. I was lost in memories. Unaware of anything else, I walked for nearly an hour on the speeding highway overpass before finally getting off. Both Reed and I work in the advertising industry. It's just that we're at different companies. My reputation in the industry is well known, and I've successfully secured many difficult major clients. From picking up clients' children from school, caring for their elderly parents in hospitals, to even helping female bosses deal with extramarital affairs. The methods I employ are those that others wouldn't think to explore in depth. Reed Wang once tried to poach a client from me but lost. In his youthful arrogance, he asked a senior colleague to formally mediate between us. I have absolutely no resistance to tall, handsome boys. We got our marriage certificate in less than half a year. It wasn't until after we got married that I found out about the existence of his mistress, Jade Liang. She would call Reed Wang in tears over the tiniest things in life. I was furious and argued with him. I still remember what Reed Wang said at the time. "Nina son, do you think everyone is like you? Carefree and clueless, always laughing like a fool." Jade Liang was scolded by her boss at work, and when she called him crying, he would always rush over heartbroken to take her out for a meal and give her gifts, going out of his way to cheer her up, and me, being scolded by the boss as well. Reed Wang gave me a disdainful glance. "Why does your boss only scold you? Or is there something wrong with your work?" Such obvious favoritism. How did I not see it back then? I want to divorce Reed Wang, let him and that mistress stay locked together and stop ruining my life. The jewelry bought for the wedding and my salary card, I'm taking them with me. Pack up the clothes and send them via local courier to my parents' place tomorrow. In his past life, he was ready to sell the house to save his mistress. This time, at the time of marriage, each family contributed 300,000 for the down payment, and both our names are on the property deed. At that time, he also mentioned that since his family had put forward this money, they wouldn't be able to give me a betrothal gift. I didn't ask for the betrothal gift anymore. After marriage, he asked, "What about the dowry your parents promised to give?" I was so angry I laughed, and directly retorted, "Doesn't that 300,000 down payment count as a dowry? Is it only fair for your family to turn the bride price into a house down payment, while our family can't turn the down payment into a dowry?" Calculating the time from the previous life, she probably isn't pregnant yet. For safety, make time to get checked. After washing up, go back to the room and lock the door. In the middle of the night, banging on the door, open up quickly." I was half asleep when the sound startled me awake. Recognizing Reed's voice, I suppressed my annoyance and opened the door. Reed stood at the doorway, drenched in sweat, supporting Jade Liang. Jade Liang's face was flushed with color, hardly looking like someone who needed constant support to stand steady. He angrily roared at me in frustration, "Nina son, are you dead? Took you so long to open the door. Why are these two here to disgust me? Reed, have you no shame? Where's your own key? You dare yell at me when coming back in the middle of the night? Who gave you the nerve?" I pointed at Jade Liang with a mocking smile and asked, "Was it her? Shameless pair, aren't there hotels outside? Had to bring her back to disgust me." Reed half carried, half supported the seemingly fragile woman to the sofa and settled her down. Turning around, she pointed at my face with a look of disgust and scolded sharply, "Nina, son, don't make trouble, I lost my keys. Jade just had a fight with her husband and has nowhere to go. Is there a problem with her staying at our place for one night?" Jade Liang had long hair cascading over her shoulders, her face was made up, and she carried a faint scent of perfume. Clearly, she had dressed up carefully, she was delicate and on the verge of tears. Tugging at the man beside her, "Brother Reed, please don't argue with sister-in-law, it's all my fault, blame me, just let me leave." I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. Watching her performance, in my past life, hearing them talk like this would have infuriated me. I will never get angry over these two scumbags again in this lifetime. It's not worth ruining my own health with anger. Reed held Jade Liang's hand that was pulling at him, his previously fierce expression toward me completely gone as he looked at her tenderly and said, "Jade, you mustn't say that. This is my home, I'm letting you stay here, so stay peacefully and don't mind other unimportant people." Jade Liang cast a smug glance at me, then immediately turned teary-eyed toward Reed and said, "Thank you, Brother Reed, you're still the best to me." Then, sister-in-law, Reed stood protectively in front of the fragile woman, glaring fiercely at me. "I'm telling you, Nina's son, if you keep making trouble, we're getting a divorce." "Fine, Reed, we'll go tomorrow, and if you don't show up, you're a coward." I couldn't wait to get divorced. But after the miserable death I suffered in my past life, I won't let them off without payback. How can I face myself and the unborn child? I took out my phone and asked with a half smile, "Jade Liang, your husband is Zhong Wen, right? A colleague of mine knows him. Let me get Zhong Wen's phone number and ask him. Does he care that his wife is bringing another man home?" Jade Liang rushed over immediately, pressing her hands on mine while shaking her head and pleading earnestly, "Nina, please don't hit me. I'll leave right away, I promise I will." Watching the woman before me, no longer appearing fragile or needing support, Reed, furious and exasperated, came pushing me while roaring in anger, "Nina's son, how dare you bully Jade? Do you have a death wish?" In his past life, after Jade Liang died, he became extremely depressed. He ran alone to the rooftop of the hospital inpatient building and called me with a hoarse voice, "Nina, it's my fault for marrying you and getting you pregnant. In my next life, I'll definitely meet you first, love you first." My face turned deathly pale as I frantically asked repeatedly, "Reed, don't do anything foolish, both the child and I can't live without you. Where are you? Tell me quickly, I'm coming to find you right now." How was I to know? He deliberately said that to lure me over. He even forbade me from telling anyone, forcing me to go alone to find him. How could Reed Wang be so heartless? After 3 years of marriage, I'm even carrying his child. I never could have imagined at the time that he tricked me into going just to take revenge for his mistress. At the hospital where Jade Liang died, I died here. The scene of being pushed off the 13th floor of the hospital flashes before my eyes. Killing him instantly wouldn't even begin to quell the hatred in my heart. Slap, slap, 2 hard strikes land on Reed's face. "Nina, how could you?" Jade Liang shouted at me in shock, taking a terrified step back. My heart was consumed by hatred. My face twisted in extreme ugliness as I waved my hand and slapped Jade Liang twice more. Smack, smack. Reed pulled Jade Liang behind him, shielding her. He grabbed my wrist forcefully and said viciously, "Don't think I won't hit a woman just because I can do whatever I want. If you keep being this insolent, don't blame me for being impolite." He flung me away, and my back hit the doorframe, sending a wave of pain through me. I closed my eyes briefly, suppressing the fury surging within me. The situation before me was not in my favor. There's no need to confront them directly. There are plenty of ways to deal with these scumbags, Brother Reed. "Are you okay?" Jade Liang gently touched the man's swollen, reddened face, her eyes brimming with tears. "Get out of my house, and don't come back." Without another glance at the two of them, I turned and headed back to my room. A dull pain throbbed in my back. It would probably bruise. The next day, when I got up, the house was empty. I had no idea when they had left. I wasn't in the mood to deal with him. I took the package out of my room and sent it off by courier. "I'll take the property deed with me. Mom, I have a package arriving this afternoon. Please remember to wait at home for it." I went downstairs to buy a steamed bun and ate it while walking. What did you buy, Mom? I'm divorcing Reed Wang. I've packed my things and shipped them home. Finally squeezed onto the subway during the morning rush hour, with people packed like sardines. Our house is more than 2 hours away from my workplace by subway, with 2 transfers in between. Before buying a car, this was my daily commute to and from work. A year ago, we saved up together, paid a down payment of 30,000, and bought a car for commuting. Since Reed Wang started driving this car, he promised to commute to and from work with me every day. Turned into being at the beck and call of a mistress all day, delivering this today and fetching that tomorrow. My parents wanted to spend more money to buy me a separate car, but I disagreed. Why should the car we bought as a couple become the dedicated chauffeur for her, Jade Liang's family? Now I can't be bothered to argue anymore. Just give me back the money for the car, and both the person and the car are yours. After work in the evening, I took a half-hour subway ride back to my own home. Mom, Dad, I'm home. I immediately threw myself into my mother's arms. My accidental death in my previous life caused my parents, who should have been cared for in their old age, to bury their own child, leaving them utterly heartbroken. My soul floated in mid-air, watching the 2 elderly people in disbelief as they faced my shattered body and wept bitterly. My heart wrenches and aches with pain. In this lifetime, I must never let them go through this again. Father poked his head out from the kitchen, smiling cheerfully, and said, "Wait, your dad made your favorite cola chicken wings for you." My mother pulled me to sit down and urged him to hurry up and cook. "Nina, tell me, what exactly is going on between you and Reed?" I didn't hide anything and told her all about his ambiguous relationship with his mistress. My father came out of the kitchen with a kitchen knife, his face filled with rage. "That bastard Reed Wang, how dare he mess around with other women? Just wait till I go break his legs." Mother gave father a cold glance and asked unhurriedly, "What good would breaking his legs do? There's no evidence for any of the things our daughter said. It's all just her speculation." Mother told father to go cook first and not make things worse. "This is how our family is. Mother makes all the decisions at home." Mother gently asked me what I planned to do. I explained my plans to her one by one, and Mother nodded, approving of my approach. "Nina, your father and I only have you, our one daughter. Our greatest wish is for your happiness. Don't waste time arguing with scum. Heaven will deal with the wicked." I didn't speak, only offering a cold smirk. I thought to myself, if heaven won't deal with them, someone else will. If Mother knew how I died in my past life, she probably wouldn't say such things. At night, Reed Wang called me, his furious voice coming through the receiver. "Nina, son, why aren't you home yet? It's so late. Are you giving up on life?" I held the receiver away from my ear, rubbing my aching eardrum, and replied calmly, "Reed Wang, if you don't know how to talk properly, don't call me. Click asterisk. Hangs up, mute the phone, going to take a shower. Wait till I finish my shower and pick up my phone. 36 missed calls. Hehe, thinking about him frantically calling me non-stop. Why does it feel so satisfying? Is there anyone else who feels the same? Put on another face mask. On the 48th call, I gently pressed the answer button. A calm voice came through the receiver. "Nina, have you gone to your mother-in-law's place? Look, he can speak properly too." Reed Wang would never dare to call my parents to ask about me unless it's absolutely necessary. My father has a bad temper, and is afraid of getting beaten. "Reed Wang, I want a divorce from you. See you at the Civil Affairs Bureau tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. You can guess he definitely won't go, so just make a fuss first. I have to go to work tomorrow." At this exact time in my previous life, there was a promotion opportunity at the company. The only requirement was needing to relocate to another city. The boss asked me if I could work in another city. I refused without even thinking. Now I realize how foolish I was back then. A 50% salary increase and eligibility for year-end bonuses from the headquarters. In the advertising industry, opportunities come to those with capability. Such a great opportunity. Why did I turn it down back then? No matter what, I must seize it in this lifetime. If my parents can't bear to part with me, then I'll just take them along. In the afternoon, while I was out running errands, I secretly had someone install a camera at home. I wanted to see if he would act differently when I wasn't around. On the camera, Reed Wang had just arrived home. Seeing I wasn't there, he angrily kicked my slippers away in frustration. Just then, a phone call came in. "Jade, did your husband hit you again? Don't cry. I'm coming right over. Just like in the previous life, Jade Liang would frequently cry to him, saying her husband was an alcoholic who beat her when drunk. In the previous life, every time he went to see her, he would return very late, his clothes smelling of perfume. What woman suffering from domestic violence would still be in the mood to spray on perfume? I angrily confronted him, but he always said I was making a fuss over nothing. The boss has already talked to me, and I'll be taking up the new position next month. I need to hand over my work during this period, so I'm very busy. Seeing the caller ID showing Reed Wang, I shook my head with amusement. How could I have forgotten about him? What's up? I held the phone between my shoulder and ear, continuing to type with my hands. Nina-san, are we doing this or not? Just give me a straight answer today. The background on the other end of the line was eerily quiet. Reed Wang usually doesn't take time off work just to scream at me like this. There must be something fishy when things go against the norm. I stopped typing on my keyboard and said to the person on the phone, "Hold on a second, I'll call you back." I opened the video recordings from the past few days at home, selected a few clips, and, no wonder, they even brought people home. Download and save. This lovely couple is really quite a pair. I went to a quiet place and called him back again. Reed Wang, we're getting divorced. The house is mine. Get out. After hanging up, she casually sent him one of the recorded videos. The phone rang again, with furious roars coming from the other end. Nina-san, you set me up. The eerie sound pierced my ears, and with a snap, I hung up. The phone rang again. I picked it up and didn't wait for the other person to speak. Reed Wang, you two shameless jerks. How dare you accuse me of scheming against you? Your filthy intentions are written all over your faces. Who needs to scheme against you? Didn't you say you'd rather die than touch Jade Liang even if all women in the world were gone? What, are all other women just men in your eyes? Let's divorce. The house stays with me. Otherwise, I wouldn't mind getting to know Jade Liang's husband. Without waiting for a response, I hung up immediately. A few years ago, Jade Liang looked down on Reed Wang, thinking he was just a penniless guy. He couldn't even afford to buy a house when getting married, so she married Zhong Wen, who owned a company. Later, after we got married, we had a house and even bought a car for daily use. Reed Wang must have said in front of her that it was through his hard work and struggle that he managed to buy it. After a night of inner turmoil, Reed Wang called the next day. He agreed to give me the house, but he wanted the car, and each would keep their own salary. The down payment for the car was only 30,000, and since I wanted a quick divorce, I agreed. In the afternoon, just as I arrived at the Civil Affairs Bureau with my documents, I saw Reed Wang driving a car with a delicate-looking woman inside, Jade Liang. I raised an eyebrow and said to the two getting out of the car, "At the time of divorce registration, you can't possibly get a marriage certificate yet. You're in too much of a hurry." Jade Liang, with the air of a victor, looked at me triumphantly, then turned tearfully to Reed Wang and said, "Nina misunderstood me. You go ahead. I'll just leave on my own." Reed Wang glared at me fiercely, took her hand, and said softly, "Jade, it's too hot outside. Don't get heat stroke. Wait for me. I'll take you back when I'm done here." Only Jade Liang deserves his tender care. I'm a superwoman. I can handle anything, anywhere, all by myself. Too lazy to watch their sweet affection any longer. After completing the registration at the Civil Affairs Bureau, come back in 30 days to collect the divorce certificate. I listed the house below market price. The agent called me, saying they took the key I provided and brought someone to view the house. There were people living in the house who refused to let anyone see it. I was furious and left work early to check who had the nerve to live in my house. The camera had already retired with honors when it was transferring action movies to him, holding the key but can't open the door. Bang bang, I'm banging on the door opened, revealing a delicate-looking woman dressed in a revealing spaghetti-strap nightgown. Jade Liang, don't you have your own home? Why are you living in my house? Who gave you the nerve? I had rushed over in such haste that sweat had soaked through my clothes, clinging uncomfortably to my back. Jade, who's at the door? Reed Wang came out wearing an apron, holding a spatula, and asked with a smile. The moment he saw me, his smile vanished instantly, and he coldly scolded me, "Nina-san, we're already divorced. I don't want to see you." With a loud bang, he shut the door in my face. I was so angry I could only laugh. For 3 years of marriage, even when I came home late from work, I was the one who cooked, Reed Wang would rather go hungry than step into the kitchen, saying it's bad luck for a man to cook. Once, when I had a fever and was lying in bed too weak to move, he came back to find no meal prepared at home, didn't even ask if I wanted to eat, ordered takeout for himself, and ate alone. How could I have been so blind back then? Taking out my phone, I dialed the emergency number. Hello, 110, I want to report a crime. Someone has occupied my house. Okay, I'll wait. In less than half an hour, the police officers arrived. Hello, officer, here are my documents. And this is my divorce judgment. The two officers reviewed the materials I provided and listened to my request. The officers knocked on the door again. Probably our voices at the door were loud enough. As this time Reed Wang came to open it, Jade Liang was already dressed, standing there looking delicate and fragile, with an innocent expression, as if putting on a show, though it's unclear who it was meant for. Hello, this Ms. Nina Sun claims the house belongs to her. Do you have any objections? Finally, with the mediation of the police, they agreed to move out within 3 days. In less than a week, the house was sold. Carrying my suitcase, I arrived in the new city to take up my post. I rented a small courtyard within a 10-minute walk from the company. It's a bit expensive, but still acceptable after the salary raise. The courtyard is in the city center, offering tranquility amidst the hustle and bustle, with great surroundings. The neighbors are even better, handsome. There's a handsome young guy living next door, 188 centimeters tall, looking like he works out regularly. On my first weekend living here, I hung my lace panties in the yard to dry in the sun. Everyone online says sunlight can kill bacteria on underwear. Who would have thought that in the time it took me to go inside for a cup of coffee, my panties would fly into the neighbor's yard, until a handsome, sun-kissed guy showed up at my door, slender, well-defined fingers hooked onto the thin strap of my black lace panties, holding them out in front of me, my face flushed crimson. My heart pounding as if it might leap out of my chest, and I snatched the panties in a hurry. As luck would have it, the thin strap accidentally tangled around his fingers. Flustered beyond measure, I fumbled to untangle it, my hands gripping his warm, long fingers as I carefully pulled the delicate strap free. Half a minute felt as long as a century. Sorry, thank you. Finally able to relax, I picked up my underwear and turned back to the yard. Snap. The fence gate closed. It's all right. Things often get hung in the yard like this. A cheerful voice came from outside the door. I made up my mind never to hang my underwear outside again. Never in my wildest dreams did I expect. After returning to work on Monday, I brought 2 colleagues with me, arriving at the largest local conglomerate to discuss their advertising business for next year. The person who came out to negotiate with me turned out to be my next-door neighbor, that handsome young man, standing at 188 centimeters tall, Leo Gu. Nina Sun. Several people from both sides shook hands politely. My face flushed red, and with a flicker of my beautiful eyes, I dared not meet his gaze. The secretary brought in some tea, breaking the awkward atmosphere. In the reception room, I opened the app and discussed with him the advantages of placing advertisements with our company, presenting clear and logical arguments. Once in my area of expertise, I temporarily forgot about the previous awkwardness. After a meeting that lasted over an hour, both sides agreed on the time for the next meeting. As I stood up, my legs were slightly numb, and wearing 8-centimeter high heels, I almost stumbled. Be careful. A strong arm reached around my waist and held me firmly. Thank you. My face turned red again. Haven't I been married before? What's the big deal? I despise myself. Received a call from an unknown number. Hello, this is Zhong Wen, Jade Liang's husband. I apologize for disturbing you. The voice on the phone was deep and pleasant. I know this Zhong Wen. He's in overseas travel. His career was thriving a few years back. Later, the 3-year pandemic hit, and the industry took a downturn. The double burden of company rent and employee salaries crushed him, so Jade Liang had to seek another way out. Just as her former admirer, Reed Wang, reappeared, both were willing. He had feelings, and she was interested, so they hit it off immediately. If in his past life, Reed Wang had wanted to help Jade Liang, he should have divorced me cleanly and not caused the death of both me and my unborn child. Perhaps then I could have forgiven him. But he didn't. Instead, he blamed his own weakness and incompetence on me. How is that fair? Hello, I have already divorced Reed Wang. There's no need to involve me in their matters. I know he wanted to ask me if it was me who anonymously sent him the indecent videos of Jade Liang and Reed Wang. I've given you the stuff. What you do with it is up to you. In her past life, after Jade Liang found out she had cancer, Zhong Wen divorced her. This time, before even discovering any illness or going through a divorce, she had already cheated. See how the ruthless Zhong Wen deals with her and how he handles Reed Wang. Half a month later, the senior who had introduced me to Reed Wang called me. Nina, I just found out you and Reed got divorced. A man named Zhong Wen just came to the company and beat him up, claiming to be the husband of the woman he had an affair with. The incident caused quite a scene. There happened to be an important signing ceremony at the company today, and it was completely ruined. He might end up getting fired. It's not necessarily that senior only just found out about our divorce, but more that Reed Wang lost face. You could at least clean up better after sneaking around. I didn't comment on it. Just made some small talk. Work and life here are both fine. Later, I heard Reed Wang was fired by the company. Jade Liang was also kicked out by Zhong Wen, leaving with nothing when they divorced. The couple didn't own a house, only a car, and Reed Wang couldn't find a suitable job for the time being. After getting together, they constantly argued over the house, money, and various other issues. Jade Liang couldn't stand living without money and was always giving Reed Wang a hard time. She neither cooked nor worked, spending all day in the rental apartment wearing pajamas, with disheveled hair and a sloppy appearance, just waiting for Reed Wang to support her. The former mistress has become a sticky rice ball clinging to him, and all those beautiful fantasies have shattered one by one. He slowly began to remember, my goodness, people are always so strange. What they have is often discarded like worthless trash. When lost, the heart aches with unbearable pain, filled with regret. Gradually, Reed Wang became unwilling to go home, preferring to sit idly in the car rather than face her. One day, Jade Liang went out to take out the trash and saw Reed Wang sitting in the car. She was still happy, thinking he had come home early and could start cooking sooner. As she approached, she instantly felt her heart shatter into pieces. Reed Wang, you bastard, how could you do this to me? For you, I was kicked out by Zhong Wen without a single penny. You, after coming back. Instead of returning home, you actually went to look at your wedding photos. Ah, Jade Liang angrily yanked open the car door, stomped her feet, and snatched Reed Wang's phone with both hands, throwing it far away. Tears and snot streamed down as her hands lashed out at the man's face. Reed Wang went from initial shock to astonishment, then to fury. His face stung sharply where he'd been scratched. He lifted his foot and kicked out fiercely, putting all his strength into the blow in his rage. Jade Liang was completely caught off guard, never expecting that the man who had cared for her so tenderly all these years could kick her with such deadly force. She couldn't catch her breath and passed out cold. That single kick broke 3 of her ribs. It also shattered Jade Liang's heart, leaving her unwilling to acknowledge him any longer. No matter how Reed Wang apologized, she just wouldn't accept it. After Jade Liang was hospitalized, a man dressed in head-to-toe designer brands came to visit her with gifts. Reed Wang, his eyes bloodshot, grabbed her wrist and demanded, Jade, who was that man who just came? What's your relationship with him? Jade Liang frowned, gave him a disdainful glance, and sneered coldly, mind your own business. Who do you think you are to me? Jade, you can't treat me like this. I divorced for you. I have nothing left, only you. His face twisted in fury as he gripped her shoulders and shook her, desperately seeking her reassurance, loyal only to him alone. Let go, Reed Wang. You're hurting me. Jade Liang's tears streamed down from the pain, her barely healed ribs on the verge of breaking again. The two tangled and pulled at each other in the hospital room until the doctor's arrival with a diagnosis interrupted them. Jade Liang has liver cancer. It was like a bolt from the blue. Reed Wang borrowed money everywhere for her treatment, even sold his car in the end, but post-surgery care required even more funds. On a late autumn night, he abandoned her and secretly left, pulling out his phone card and tossing it straight into the trash. Under the double blow, Jade Liang quietly passed away alone in her cold, hard-rented room on the day she saw the snow falling. It wasn't until the landlord couldn't reach her and knocked on the door that they discovered she had been dead for several days. Reed Wang was drowning in debt, had a poor reputation in the entire industry, and couldn't find a decent job. In the end, he had no choice but to change careers. I've been thriving in my new job in the city, and by the end of the year, my performance was outstanding. Among all the newly promoted branch managers in the company, my performance was the best, of course. The bonus was also very generous. At the end of the year, I was too busy to go home and could only call my parents. Mom, the company is so busy that we're only getting half a holiday for New Year. Why don't you and Dad come here to celebrate with me? I'll book your tickets. Okay, I cooed into the phone, pleading with my mother. All right then, we'll come over in the next couple of days. We can even get some New Year shopping done early. Son's mother hadn't seen her daughter since she left and was very worried. When their daughter left, she had just gone through a divorce. How painful that must have been. Now she's gone to a completely unfamiliar environment. As parents, all they can do is silently ache for her. In a hurry, Son's parents packed some things to bring to their daughter and boarded the high-speed train. Old son, if you see Nina, don't mention Reed Wang again. Mother-son reminded him once more. Yes, I know. At the thought of that person, father-son gritted his teeth in anger. If not for his wife holding him back, he would have gone to give that guy a good beating, daring to treat his precious daughter like this. The small courtyard is brimming with the atmosphere of the new year, red couplets and lanterns. The elderly couple bought many colorful lights and strung them around the courtyard. I returned home under the cover of night, carefully admiring the yard before going inside and praising, Dad, Mom, you just arrived yesterday and already managed to buy so many things at once. That's amazing. Mother-son busied herself with the sofa cushions, rearranging and adjusting their angles. Your father went out this morning and asked a young man for directions when he saw him. Father-son, wearing an apron, bustled about as he brought dishes to the dining table. Is my daughter back? Quick, change your clothes and wash your hands. Dinner's about to start. Oh. And I've also invited someone to join us for dinner. Father-son had just said. Ding dong. The doorbell rang. Nina, go answer the door quickly. Father-son called his daughter. Okay, coming right away. I jogged to open the gate and was stunned by the handsome young man before me. It was none other than the 188 centimeters tall handsome neighbor, Leo Gu, Nina's son. Hello, he pointed at his father who was serving the dishes and explained to me, your father invited me here, Leo. Come in quickly, go wash your hands, we're about to eat. Mother-son walked out from the living room and called out warmly, I'm speechless, they just arrived yesterday. What on earth happened? How did they become so familiar with the neighbors? Many questions swirl in my mind, leaving me no choice but to greet him with half caution and half distance. Leo Gu very politely presented my mother with a bouquet of pink lilies and gave my father a bottle of some rare, aged liquor. The recipient of the gift was like two children, grinning from ear to ear with joy. I quietly watched everything. Everyone, please sit down and try my cooking. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. Leo, if you're alone, you're welcome to join us for some festive fun. Dad raised his glass to clink with Leo Gu, while Mom and I drank juice. I remember before I got married, Dad would always say, sweetheart, when you get married, you must have your husband drink a few glasses with me. After marrying Reed Wang, I almost always went to my parents' house alone. I remember one time he came back with me. It was Dad's birthday, and he was so happy that day, smiling like a child. I specially opened a fine bottle of wine to share with my son-in-law, but Reed Wang dampened the mood by saying, Dad, I have something to do later and need to drive, so I can't drink. My father's face immediately darkened, and he didn't drink either. The meal turned out to be dull and awkward, leaving everyone feeling unsatisfied. Just as I put down my chopsticks, Reed Wang left early, leaving me alone at my parents' house. When he came home late at night, we had a heated argument. The smell of alcohol and that familiar perfume on him made my blood boil with anger. Reed Wang, do you even have a heart? You'd rather go out drinking with others than have a drink with my dad, is that it? What do you take me for? Am I just a neighbor to you? Reed Wang staggered unsteadily to the sofa, his eyes glazed over. Clearly, he had drunk quite a bit. He spat a thick glob of phlegm onto the clean floor and sneered at me. Nina son, stop arguing with me. I'm sick of you. Do you think I wanted to marry you? It's just that my family pressured me too much. I had no choice. What else could you be? You're nothing times. The following muttering was completely incomprehensible. When he sobered up and I questioned him again, he flatly denied it. He swore to the heavens, saying his heart belonged only to me and so on. Nina, what are you thinking about? Leo is toasting with you. My mother nudged my arm, snapping me out of my thoughts. From the moment he entered the room, I couldn't bring myself to meet his gaze, focusing instead on the slender, large hand before me. My face flushed involuntarily. That black lace panty tangled around that hand. Don't think about it, mustn't think about it. I raised the glass of juice in front of me, the amber liquid inside making my hand appear as white and flawless as jade, utterly beautiful. Nina, thank you for your warm hospitality. Leo Gu downed the liquor in his small glass in one gulp, his deep eyes fixed on me as he turned the glass upside down to show me. Not a drop remained. I have too much juice. Can I just take a big sip? I raised an eyebrow, gazing at the tall, upright man across from me, his flushed cheeks seeming both shy and provocative. A hearty laugh rang out, the man's handsome eyes crinkling with amusement. His long arm reached out to steady the glass of fruit juice in my hand. You should drink less of that juice, it's too cold, not good for your stomach. Uncle was just saying you don't take good care of yourself and often get stomach aches. Seemingly echoing father-son's words, there was a hint of heartache in the tone. I shook off inappropriate thoughts, silently reminding myself that I was already divorced and being single now was just fine. When I spoke to him again, I actually felt more at ease. The meal came to an end amidst the clinking of glasses. Dad was drinking happily and warmly invited Leo Gu to come tomorrow without fail. Mom also joined in with enthusiastic invitations. This person is a major client of our branch company, so I also had to put on a big smile and extend a warm invitation. I heard from Leo that all his family members are in Hong Kong City, and he's the only one here, same age as Nina, but really doesn't look it, seems more like a college student. I asked if he was married, and he said he didn't even have a girlfriend yet. He said he hadn't been here long and, apart from colleagues, didn't have many friends. My mother and father kept chattering beside me, as if they were talking to each other, but really, it was meant for my ears. I didn't respond, saying I still had work to do, and went back to my room. Seeing my parents' graying hair, a wave of guilt washed over me. At my age, I'm still making my parents worry about me. They never mentioned Reed Wang in front of me. They were afraid of touching a sensitive nerve and making me sad. Seeing me alone and worried about me, they wanted to find me a man to rely on each other. One Nina's son. This is Zhong Wen. I know you hate Reed Wang and Jade Liang just as much as I do. I just wanted to let you know that the person you hate won't have a good ending soon. Bye. It took me a long time to snap out of it after the call ended. I understood this seemingly nonsensical statement, because when I sent him the anonymous video, I had vaguely mentioned how to deal with them. Now it seems his plan has already yielded results. A year later, Reed Wang fainted and was sent to the hospital for examination, only to learn that he was already infected with AIDS. In the days that followed, he had no money, no wife, no children, and lived each day in constant fear, as if a year passed with every moment. And what about me? I thrived in my position as the branch company's general manager. One big order after another keeps coming in. I bought this small courtyard where I live, occasionally bringing my parents over to stay. Nina, are you almost off work? I'm waiting for you downstairs. Leo Gu's cheerful voice came through the receiver. He had become my boyfriend. I'm very satisfied with my current life, so I keep postponing his marriage proposal. Coming down right away, I closed the file and shut down the computer. At that moment, a long text message came through on my phone. Nina, I know saying I was wrong now is worthless, but I still have to tell you, I was wrong, truly wrong. I don't ask for your forgiveness, only hope you'll be better in the future and never meet a man like me again. I want to tell you, Nina, I love you. I've always loved you. It was all that bitch Jade Liang who seduced me. I didn't continue watching and deleted it directly. Even now, this man still shifts the blame onto others, unwilling to take the slightest responsibility himself. In the previous life, after Jade Liang died, how he resented me, pushing me and the unborn child down the stairs alive. Nina, what's wrong? You look so pale. Leo Gu nervously grabbed my arm, placing a hand on my forehead to check my temperature. I'm fine. Just tired from a busy day. I'll be okay after some rest. I looked at his handsome face and answered with a smile. No wonder everyone likes good-looking people. Just seeing them can lift your mood and add years to your life.